Pharrell Williams has a historic career as a Grammy-winning producer, musician, songwriter, and adored coach on The Voice. While it's been a minute since the multi-hyphenate sat in the iconic red chair and offered in his expert advice with artists, his past on The Voice will always leave fans wanting more. Williams has said how much he enjoyed his time on The Voice and connecting with up-and-coming talent. There were many memorable moments and even a triumph in the program. It was so much fun, and while I was doing it, helping other people was like a drug for me. After leaving The Voice in 2017, Williams said in an interview with Today, "I just couldn't get enough of helping them. I have work to do, music to make, and so many records. I'm so grateful. I had such a great time." Williams certainly has been busy. In addition to collaborating on tunes with celebrities like Gwen Stefani, Snoop Dogg, and Ariana Grande over the years, Williams' Grammy collection extended even more after Chains and Whips won Best Rap Performance in 2026. The legendary record producer was also presented with the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award at the 68th Annual Grammy Awards. Williams' proficiency in all parts of music and his ability to write song after smash were evident throughout his stay on The Voice. Read on to find more about when Williams was on The Voice, who he won the competition with, and more. Pharrell Williams has held a number of coaching jobs during The Voice's existence. He originally joined the coaches lineup in 2014 for Season 7 and stays in the red chair for Seasons 8, 9, and 10. The happy hitmaker was no stranger to The Voice before he became a coach. He became a battle advisor for Team User in Season 4 in 2013. When the news was initially disclosed, Usher said in a statement via E! News that Williams is a master of his area, an artist and inventor, adding, "His ability to grow and develop talent is important and will truly benefit each and everyone on my team." Known for his moderate competitiveness, Pharrell established a reputation as the nice guy on The Voice, although Seth Meyers contested whether that was all part of his strategy during a 2016 appearance on Late Night. "So you are a nice guy, and that is just how you go about trying to lure people on your team?" Meyers hilariously questioned Williams, who instantly rejected the accusation, adding that he simply doesn't like to hear himself talk. "No," Williams responded, making the audience roar out in laughter. "I think it's more like, I kind of have voicemail syndrome." During a visit to Today in 2016, Carson Daly, The Voice's original announcer, also joked that Williams played the nice game. Aside from nicknames, Williams added that competing on The Voice has reminded me that, as humans, we're special. "You feel lifted," Williams told Daly in another 2016 interview on being a coach. "You watch people change, evolve, and grow, and there's something in that process that I kinda can't get anywhere else." When Pharrell Williams initially wheeled his red chair around on The Voice, it didn't feel like merely another superstar joining the panel. It felt like a creative shift in the room. The producer, musician, fashion icon, and cultural tastemaker come not to steal the spotlight, but to discreetly influence what mentorship on the program could look like. Coaches weren't like Pharrell. He listened more than he spoke, asked questions instead of issuing directives, and urged artists to chase authenticity over perfection. Looking back, his tenure on The Voice was not only exceptional but groundbreaking. A coach, unlike any other. Pharrell's resume was already famous when he joined The Voice in Season 7. After writing popular songs for everyone from Britney Spears and Jay-Z to Justin Timberlake and Robin Thicke, Pharrell didn't need the program to affirm him. With his own ability to transcend genres, he also transformed popular culture. Yet that's exactly why his presence felt so exciting. He wasn't there to prove anything. He was there to build something. From the start, Pharrell positioned himself as an artist's coach rather than a traditional judge. Pharrell emphasized on identification while other educators emphasize verbal power or competitive strategies. His fundamental question, often repeated in numerous forms, was simple. Who are you? He thought that everything would fall into place once an artist discovered their own voice. The art of the pitch. Pharrell's pitch strategy during the blind auditions is among his most well-known contributions to The Voice. He rarely begged contestants to choose his team. Instead, he painted a vision. He discussed self-expression, longevity, and artistry. He promised growth rather than trophies. Pharrell's serene assurance becomes a subtle weapon. While some coaches employed comedy, theatrics, or playful rivalry to pull talent over. Pharrell pushed toward realism. Contestants could see that he wasn't peddling a shortcut to fame, he was delivering a creative relationship. For artists overwhelmed by the splendor of the exhibition, that grounded energy frequently made all the difference. Season 7. Laying the foundation, the objective of Pharrell's first season was to develop trust with both the viewers and the competition. He established early on that he wasn't intimidated by raw or distinctive noises. In fact, he gravitated toward them. His team often selected singers who didn't fit neatly into pop radio boxes. Instead of trying to smooth them down, he encouraged them to embrace their peculiarities. Pharrell was well known for his careful behind-the-scenes planning. He didn't merely assign tunes, he studied them. He talked on rhythm, phrasing, emotional intention, and storytelling. For him, music wasn't just about sounding good. It was about signifying something. A masterclass in musicality, Pharrell's method of directing performances was what really made him stand out. He approached each song as though it were a canvas. Rather than forcing contestants into his own musical style, he shifted his path to their wants. He has a soul-leaning vocalist on his side. If they were experimental, he pushed them further, never backward. Pharrell consistently promoted nuance, something rarely awarded in competitive shows. He reminded performers that restraint could be strong, stillness could be lyrical, and vulnerability could be more compelling than vocal acrobatics. In a medium that typically favors huge moments, it was a daring approach, but when it worked, it really did work. Championing individuality throughout his stay, Pharrell consistently underlined that surviving the industry was more essential than winning The Voice. He openly talked on how transient fame may be and how crucial it is for artists to understand who they are before the public tries to define them. This long-term viewpoint struck a significant chord with the contenders. Many later thanked Pharrell with helping them find confidence beyond the show. A deeper feeling of purpose, which is far more valuable than a title, often left even those who did not make it to the finish. Season 8. Confidence and growth. By Season 8, Pharrell had adjusted easily into his role. His instruction grown more intense, his instincts sharper. He was not afraid to challenge artists when necessary, but he always did it tactfully. He would inquire, "What do you think this song is saying?" rather than, "This isn't working." Asking that question alone gave the artist accountability again, and allowed them to make their own decisions instead of following orders. Pharrell wasn't interested in control. He was interested in collaboration. Navigating competition without losing soul, while The Voice is ultimately a competition, Pharrell rarely played the game in visible ways. He didn't focus on robbing other coaches or snatching performers. Instead, he trusted that the relevant voices would gravitate toward the right proposals. That didn't suggest he lacked competitive fire, it just manifested differently. Pharrell competed through greatness. Every week, he wanted his players to shift considerably and tell tales that remained long after the show was ended. For him, artistic progress was the actual advantage. Fashion as self-expression, of course, critiquing Pharrell's clothing would be a necessary part of any discussion about him. His coaching method became an extension of his manner on The Voice. The idea that creation has no one style was underlined by everything he wore, including striking hats, immaculate tailoring, and odd silhouettes. For many applicants, especially younger musicians, Pharrell's participation sent a vital message. You don't have to fit in to achieve. You just have to be honest. In an industry fascinated with trends, that lesson was priceless. Season 9. Refinement and reflection. By Season 9, Pharrell's approach felt perfected. He was aware of when to intervene and when to back off. He was moderate in his support and realistic in his critique. He trusted his artists more, and they trusted themselves. Pharrell's trust in longevity was clear this season. He talked a lot on occupations rather than happenings, about generating catalogs rather than following charts. It was a perspective gained by decades in the profession, and it delivered The Voice, a rare dose of truth amid the gloss. A coach who led by listening as a coach. Pharrell's aptitude to listen, truly listen, may have been his greatest talent. Not just to voices, but to uncertainties, aspirations, and anxieties. He didn't dominate rehearsals or rush chats. He made room for exploration. That patience stood out in a fast-paced television environment. Pharrell trusted that invention couldn't be rushed, even on a limited production deadline. And strangely, the performance often created place for that idea. Impacts outside of the show. Pharrell's effect didn't cease when he quit The Voice. His seasons helped redefine what viewers expected from a coach. He established that mentorship may be cerebral, analytical, and artist-centered without compromising entertainment appeal. Whether on deliberately or not, a lot of voice coaches now mimic some aspects of Pharrell's methodology. He set a standard that is largely responsible for the emphasis on artistry, uniqueness, and emotional purity. The causes Pharrell remains important in voice history. In the long history of The Voice, Pharrell Williams stands out not because he shouted the loudest or played the hardest, but because he cared the deepest. His coaching was based on respect for the craft and the creator. He reminded viewers that music is personal. Stories are carried by their voices, and sometimes that triumph shows as an artist departing with clarity, self-assurance, and a sense of self rather than as confetti descending at the end. A legacy of authenticity. Looking back, Pharrell's journey on The Voice feels less like a chapter and more like a lesson. He taught contestants and audiences that creativity thrives where authenticity is protected. The objective of such mentorship is to assist someone uncover their own personality rather than to shake them into your own. Pharrell Williams showed empathy in a competition-focused presentation. He preached timelessness in a genre driven by fads. And in a world focused with rapid outcomes, he taught patience. His experience on The Voice is still relevant because of this. Not because of the outcome, but rather because of the way he transformed the narrative.